morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October 28th. Hey, it's Halloween weekend. We know you're going to get out there and trick-or-treat with the kids. Please be safe out there. Be safe on the waterways because Neely Henry is down right now for repair of docks and seawalls. The guys are going to help clue us into what's going on the water as fishing goes. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Happy Halloween, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October the 28th. Hey, we're joined by Lee Pitts. No, that's not a mask. That's his face, and he's here to smile and tell us what's going on at Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. Lee, let's start with Weiss Lake because I know they had the Alabama Bass Trail. Our good friend Jeremy Green and his partner Terry Tucker won that thing. Tell us what happened up there and what's going on at Weiss.
You know what? Weiss has been pretty tough the last week or so. And you can see that by the weights that they had in this tournament. It was one of those deals where, everybody knows fishing is a game of right and wrong decision. And you could very easily make some of the wrong decisions and it cost you. I've never seen the lake quite like it was. It was like lower lake, mid lake, just really shut down. You could get several bites. I caught a lot of fish both days, but they were just small. You had to get up that river, try to get on that wood cover and beat and bang. Like I said, I just made the wrong decision. I stayed out there on those spots, and the second day I had a limit and 7 casts, but I could not find any good fish. So you were catching enough fish that you really didn't want to leave it, even though they were small. But like I said, man, my hat's off to Jeremy and Terry. They went out there and put 2 good days together. Like I said, they came in strong that second day, and man, what a great finish for them. They had a great, my hat's off to them. They had a great tournament.
Yeah, real happy for our friend and partner over there. He's a Bucks Island guy with Elite Car Spa. All right, let's turn our attention to Neely Henry Lake. I know that people are going to start focusing there. The Coosa River Team Trail Championships coming up in a couple of weeks. What's happening at Neely Henry?
The good thing with Neely is fishing a lot better than Weiss right now, especially the last couple of weeks. I think it's going to be some of those deals that these fish at Neely are already starting to get into that winter pattern. They're still out there. You can catch them on square bill, you can catch them on spinnerbait, and even get a good topwater bite. I don't know. And jumping back to Weiss had everybody I talked to. I never had a topwater bite. None of the other guys that I know had a topwater bite. But Neely, it's just something. These fish are a little more aggressive. They'll chase a little bit more, and you can sit out there, and especially with the spotted bass, you can catch some pretty good spots right now.
Yeah, but right now, folks, the water's down for everybody to work on their docks and seawalls. Be careful out there. We're down about 4 feet, maybe a little bit more, so be careful when you're out there. But yeah, you can still put a few fish in the boat. It's going to pull all the fish to the edges of things right now. Should be a little bit easier to find them, right?
Yeah, and you're exactly right on that. It kind of condensed the playing field a little bit. And a lot of it, even Main Lake, you're running around out through there. A lot of those places where you used to could run in 2 and 3 foot of water, you're going to be in the dirt right now. So really watch what you're doing. Be careful. Slow down a little bit and just kind of watch those twists and turns and don't try to cheat and cut that corner a little too quick.
Lee, as always, brother, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for this Halloween weekend, October 28th, 2023. We're joined by Josh Herron, who's going to tell us all about Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, what's happening down there on that end of the Coosa?
Man, everybody's playing dodge the bottom.
Yeah, there's no water, is there?
No, there's not been any water at Lay for the past week or two. We actually went down and took a jet boat and went and rode around the other day and did an educational trip and spent a bunch of time on the bottom, even in a jet boat. So it's fun. If you wanted to learn how to efficiently run around Lay, the past 2 weeks was very educational.
Really?
There's boat lanes that you didn't know existed, and there's places I've ran my entire life that made me feel really stupid for doing it.
Wonder how you have a lower unit left?
Yeah, there's several places that are questionable. But no, man, it's we fished for a little while. Fishing wasn't that great. I think it had a lot to do with the area, the end of the lake we were on when we were doing it, and it was kind of late in the afternoon. There's still the spots should start really firing up, especially with them bringing the water back up and kind of increasing the flow into the lakes. I know they're bringing Logan down right now as well too, and I've always said that Logan fishes better low than it does full. I like it a lot more. I think this year is going to be the oddball year that they start doing the 2 foot drawdown instead of the 4 or 5 that it traditionally is. So people need to be really careful with that. You can tear more stuff up on Logan Martin at 2 foot low than you can at 5 foot low.
Yeah, because there's stuff there that you just can't see that's not there, that is there.
Yeah, there's a lot of little high places that at 4 feet, they look like big beacons of red dirt. And at 2 foot low, it looks easily navigable. But no, man, we're kind of getting into the fall deal. There's a lot of shad up shallow right now, even when these lakes fall. Like, I mean, an insane amount of shad, even with the lakes falling up shallow. So it's going to be that deal where these fish are, I think the water temps are going to average around 67, 68 right now. So that blade bite should really start firing up, being able to kind of crank a square bill around, burn a chatterbait. We're fixing to start getting into, we're going to get a couple really good weeks of like a spook, shower blow, stuff like that is really going to shine. And the lake lifers are going to get a little too cold and they're going to stay home. We're going to get our lakes back, and it's going to be glorious for the next couple of weeks, man.
Sounds good. Sounds fun. I appreciate it. You tell Miss Emerson to have a great Halloween, and we will talk to you again next week, brother. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October 28th. Hey, it's Halloween time. We're all dressing up like fishermen. We're going to be joined by Tom Ott, who dresses up like a fisherman a little bit better than the rest of us. Tom, costume aside, how's the fishing up there at Guntersville?
It's been spooky. No, it's I tell you, Dano, we got out last week, and I know Mother Nature keeps kind of saying, oh, we're going to give you some cool weather and cool the water off, and it hasn't happened yet. We were still in the low 70s, mid 70s, but it's starting to get there. I think we're going to get a good cold snap coming in early next week, and that's going to start really getting things kicking. But this past weekend, I mean, we were able to go out there, and I think we talked about this last week, throwing that A-rig, and I opted to do that just because I thought that was my better chance to catch some larger fish. And we were able to catch a small grouping of fish, if you will, and catch about 13 pounds and did okay in a tournament. But 19 won it. Those guys were definitely flipping. So I think that's where your big bites are going to come. Those guys actually reported they caught their fish very early, and it kind of died off on them, and then they caught a few more late in the day. Our bite was really strong until the wind got up, and then it died off. But again, targeting that 8, 10, 12 foot of 12 foot of water, hitting those grass lines, throwing that A-rig. We were throwing small 3-inch baits, but we caught 25 fish, so it was a productive day. It just wasn't it still hasn't got there yet, but I know that these fish are steady moving. It's just going to get better from here. I think some of those big girls are really going to start feeding up, especially with this cold snap.
I know when you start seeing the fall leaves turning colors and they start to fall to the ground, you think everything's going to follow right behind it, but these afternoon warms have got to be keeping it a little bit behind. What about crappie fishing? What about striper fishing? Are you seeing anything different out there?
I haven't seen too many of the striper lately, but the crappie bite's starting to pick up. We talked about them getting around the causeways a little bit. What we're seeing there, those schools are starting to get larger and larger. The minnows are moving in, the bait's moving in, the crappie are right there with them, but they're starting to get more and more grouped up. So I'm really thinking it's going to be another stellar crappie season out there on Guntersville. Just waiting for a little bit of cool weather. They kind of like that ugly, nasty stuff. So maybe Halloween will be a good day to go. I don't know.
Tom, thanks for spending the time with us, brother. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Y'all be safe out there. Tight lines. We'll catch you on the water.
Happy Halloween, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October 28th. We're joined by the guy that needs to be wearing a mask, Gentry Gordy. He's by the phone, so you can't see how pretty he is, but that's all right. He'll tell us what's going on at Lake Martin and Jordan Lake. Gentry, let's start at Jordan. What's going on?
Dano, Jordan's just in that, you got a lot of people that like this time of year. Me personally, I find it tougher because it's the find the bait, find the fish. But even when you do that, you still got to get them to bite when they've got all that bait swimming around. But this time of year, when the upper part of the river, when it narrows up, a lot of those, little bit deeper pockets and cuts, as you start going off, it seems to hold a lot of bait up there this time of year, and it's just a matter of finding the fish up under that bait and then committing, making them commit to a lure.
Yeah.
Your forward-facing sonar, of course, it plays this time of year. Just to locate, because you can see school of bait, but there's not always fish up under them. So you really need to find the right schools. And when you do, you can find some pretty big spotted bass, little swim baits, underspins, scrounger heads, stuff like that. If you move back down the lake, you can still find your largemouth around that grass as it starts to die off. I typically switch to a rivet frog this time of year just because the leaves and the pine straw is hard to throw a buzz bait.
Yep.
But that's usually what I do, and still getting some good bites. Flipping docks with a D-bomb or a little compact type jig.
I figure you like that buckshot color when you're flipping that D-bomb. Let's talk about Lake Martin. Tell me what's going on down there.
Absolutely nothing. But Martin is being stingy right now. You can catch a lot of fish doing a lot of different things, but there is just no size to them. I think the last tournament I fished up there a week before last, 70 boats. I think it took a little over 10 pounds. Big bites are just hard to come by, but they're around the bait. They're around the seawalls. The thing about Martin, though, is right now, typically they've already dropped it a few feet, but they haven't, but it's starting to drop now, so it's going to drop about 5.5 feet over the next 20, 25 days, so you're going to see a big change in Martin coming up, but, the fish will still eat a spook. They'll eat your little swim baits and stuff, and that's really how you go out there and have fun and get your numbers.
Sounds like it might be a good time to take a beginner fishing or some kids. Gentry,
Absolutely.
I appreciate everything, man. As always, we will talk to you again next week.
Yes, sir, guys. Y'all take care.
Well, thanks to Josh, Tom, Lee, and Gentry for helping us on those bodies of water. They always help us keep abreast of what's going on, put a few more fish in the boat. Don't forget to stop on Bucks Island. We are open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5. We're open Saturdays, 8 to noon. We got that boat, parts, tackle, and service to help get you on the water, keep you on the water, and help put a few more fish in the boat. Come see us at Bucks Island because you are appreciated, the best part of who we are, and we look forward to seeing you every day. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you next week.